Hello, so today I'm going to be talking about social media. It's a topic I'm really interested in because I'm currently doing my dissertation and a bit of research around social media and digitalisation and social work. So I am an advocate for people learning more about this and considering opportunities of how they can create content themselves. So I was having a great conversation with a really nice girl called Florence today, and we met via Twitter and we just bounced off each of us so well, and we were just on the phone and we'd never met in real life. And it just reminded me of the power of social media, because we would not have met any other way, and it's just so great that people can see something that you've created and enjoy it, but also know that they're going to like you before you actually meet. And it's the point I'm making about that is, once you have something that really reflects who you are, it draws an audience of people that are kind of like you, or have similar interests, or respect like some of the things that you stand for. And that's a really good thing, because then you end up with people around you, and you're not just limited to the people that are in your normal sort of situation. So I find that element of it inspiring. But another element of it that actually led me to do this in the first place was someone that I was supporting at the time, and I introduced him to some YouTube videos that were quite inspiring, and he took so much from it, and ever since it's sort of stuck by me that he accessed that free resource that was so beneficial for him. And no matter what obstacles he had against him, he just wanted to fulfill his dreams and go for what was important for him. And I always think that that's really changed me. And it took me about a year to start doing these YouTube videos and filming. I find my natural thing is that it's easier for me to talk than write. I enjoy it, and it just took me a bit of time to get used to talking on camera, because you basically are talking in a room on your own, which is really bizarre to start with. So for the first video it took me I read this thing and it said, until you've done it 60 times for the first video, don't expect it to be good. So I just kept filming it, and then I was able to actually get a video out, and it was such a good feeling because it's something I've wanted to do for such a long time. And I was looking into something called the spotlight effect, and it's basically a study that shows people always think that people are more judgmental about what they're doing, or that they take more notice of what you're doing than they actually are in reality. I definitely think that's applicable to what we're talking about here. I think we tend to make it a massive deal in our own minds, and people do notice, but they're not. People are also bothered about their own lives and what they've got going on. So I think we do blow it out proportion a bit, and I found that when I started. So a lot of people that I knew did come on and watch my videos and things, and some people were supporting me. I think some people were just wondering what I was doing, but after that, it sort of fades, and it ends up being the people that are genuinely interested in what you're saying, and that's when you can start to build up an audience of people, and then you end up finding people that you can really connect with. And obviously you're using it for a professional reason, you're using it in your social work capacity, so it has to be quite a balance between a good representation of who you are, but also obviously you have to make sure that you're not going to lose your job over it. So I had to sign a form with the council, and I was really open about what I wanted to do, and I remember getting the reaction of I really had to explain why it was important to me, and so that it was understood. But then once it was understood, I think people were quite behind me. But I do feel like there's a lot of people that don't really understand how social media for social work is used, and I think it's only when you're on Twitter and you're really ingrained in that and you're seeing what's going on and the opportunities, you can really appreciate how exciting it can be. Obviously, when you're on Twitter, you see people who are academics that just having conversations with people and helping you learn, as opposed to sometimes when you're at university or you're studying on postgraduate things, where it seems quite cold to read a paper and not know who the person is, and it's just words. But for me, I think there's been a revolution of audiobooks and podcasts and things. And I know for me, if I listen to a podcast and I begin to like the person, I'm way more likely to buy their book. And I think that academics are realising that now. And I think that obviously a lot of us have opinions on things that we think should have been covered more in university, or things that we'd like to change structurally in social work. And I genuinely think that creating content yourself is an opportunity to do exactly what you think is missing and contribute towards social work as a whole. And I think that's exciting because it genuinely is a way of getting your voice out. And I think that's the thing about social media, it gives everyone a voice, whereas peer-reviewed journal articles or books are amazing and they're an amazing resource, but they take a long time to produce. You have to go through a lot in order to get things passed, and it can be time consuming. Whereas I could have a conversation today and then talk about it that same day and have the video out tomorrow, and suddenly I've contributed something, and then the conversation continues. And so overall, I just think that if you have something to share, get it out. Don't feel that you have to maybe publish it straight away. Just create something, just so that you feel that you've actually made it, and then decide. The thing is, you can edit everything. People, if you're doing a video or a podcast, don't be worried about editing it, because people will edit a book like loads of times. They'll have a professional editor to do it, so think of it that way. If you're doing a blog and that's your thing, that's brilliant as well. I've read so many great blogs that have just changed a lot of the way I'm thinking, and I just think find the platform or find the sort of content that suits you and your skills, and then get it out there. The last thing really I wanted to say is that I have been torn a little bit, because I feel like I'm a social worker and I love the practical side, but I only started getting confident with academic writing towards the end of university, and then I sort of felt like I was quite interested in it then, and I wanted to carry on. And when I came into practice, you lose that a bit because you don't have that same opportunity. And I've always been interested in research and things, and lately I've had a few opportunities to get involved with stuff like that. And I definitely think once you get your work out there, you just don't know what opportunities you're going to get, and it's sort of an opportunity to figure out what it is, what your niche is as well, and work on. I even found it exciting to think about what my personal brand was. So they talk about that in marketing, don't they? But it made me think about something that Les Brown, I was listening to him the other day, and he said a teacher once told him that as soon as you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. And I think that that's true when you're creating content or anything. When you're creating something, you do tell the world who you are, and you never know who might be listening or reading it. So it's not like when you're just getting through the day-to-day, you just don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, there's a few points that I've made. I'd like to know what other people think. So thank you.